here we go. We cut a couple of old road beds in and cleaned them up and made them usable again on this piece of property. And they go around and they join up to each other, but video was sketchy at best when I was doing this because it was pretty thick. But and I think I've lost my videos that I downloaded on my computer. But anyway, we're going to let you ride through here with me and just do an overview of these couple of long road beds. And then we got one more short little dead end one we got to work on this morning. And but this, I mean, all through here was just, you see some trees on the side. It was unpassable even by foot traffic. And so we've cleared out and made it accessible even with a vehicle if need be. And got to stay on the road bed for the biggest part. And some places we had to detour off because the trees, the big trees, had grown in so tight on the original road bed that I was going to be damaging root system, or we'd have to push the trees over to do it. We're trying to keep all the good trees. But made a small pull off to the edge right here for drainage. This I thought was going to be the hardest trail when we started. And there's a whole lot of coyote scat right there with persimmon seeds in it. How about that? That's the second pile I've seen. And of course the leaves have failed since we done it, so this is really nice for erosion. Bed went around, and there was so many humongous trees across it that we just diverted and went around that little area there. There was smaller trees here to work with, plus the flow's a lot better too, and we don't have to worry about the rutted road bed, the drainage and all of that. That road bed that we came off of, it comes right back in here. So we just made a straight shot. And now we're back on the road bed originally. Of course we had to widen it out. It wasn't but about, wow, 8 foot at best. And you just can't maneuver the tractor in areas that tight without hitting something when you're back in. Blowed a few sticks off in the road, and this gets us down to the big bottom, I guess is what you'd call it. It's where the creek overflows and dumps sand over here, but right beyond that little area there is a pretty good sized creek. It's almost borderline river, and we cut a little drain out here to get the water out of this little corner, and then we run parallel pretty much with the river. This one I thought was going to be difficult with all the trees to work with, and it turned out to not be that bad. I'll show you when I get up here to the turn point where it ties into the other trail. It took me all day to get to that point. And this road is probably twice as long as the one we're going to turn on to. But the other one had a lot of big trees that I didn't realize was on that road, to be honest, till I started. And extremely rocky. I mean, it was real tough on the skid steer bouncing over them rocks. And there's a few spots in here we had to fill in where there was runoff going into the creek or river. Probably feel a few rocks on this. It's rough, but we got up here to about right here, and we run out of daylight and just had to quit. But the other trail we started on the second day that I don't think I can recover my video is right here to my right. But right over that embankment's another road that we're going to tie into later. Well, it's an old railroad bed from years ago, but that's another phase. But right now, this we're going to turn and come up the road bed that we done the second day in here. And right here, you're talking about rocky. Lord have mercy. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. But this is for tractors and skid steers and whatnot. This trail gets a little narrow to keep from having to push good trees out. And if they want some trees pushed, we can always come back. This is a shorter path, but man, there was a lot of work involved in it. Just like you can see all the brush and debris on this side. This right in this area right in here, man, it was just thick. But it turned out extremely well. Opened up for access to the big property, but bed went straight ahead right up here, and the trees were so close and it had such a low wash point, we just diverted around the road here. It was an easier fix, and you can see the debris, which is still minimal compared to going the other way. Between, get a little closer, you can see between these two trees right here, that was the road bed, and I would have damaged the roots on this big sourwood. You can pull up and let you just look at that. For tree lovers, this is a sourwood tree, and that's the biggest one I've ever seen, and I was going to take no chance of destroying that awesome tree. But any route, this trail here took, you can see the debris on the side. Only took a good bit of tree removal on it. And then there's my bucket, that's what I come to get. I couldn't remember where it was at. We're going to pick this up and we'll go on out the trail and get ready to start on the other. road. But right up here we had to get off the main trail. Well, around the corner. But you can see the pile of stuff on both sides of the road. I mean, there were so many trees falling here and crossed up, and man, it was a job. But right up here, we had to detour off the pathway too, because the big trees was too close together for us to get between them. Turned out extremely nice. I'm just so pleased with it. But the old road bed, it went right straight up through there, and it's just too tight, so we just bypassed around it. But you see how short this road was. It took as long as to do that long road the first day, because we're just about out of